DownHome Sports, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank of Texas, the way banking should be. Pinnacle Bank, not another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Now with ATM Live, powered by the people, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always speak with a live teller. Dough City Pizza and Burgers, located in Red Oak, Texas. For the best in artisan burgers, pizza, and ice cream, make sure you try something that is delicious right across from the high school in Red Oak. Elite Tire and Automotive, located in Midlothian, Texas. And the United States Marine Corps, the fighting spirit of an entire nation.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy to access ATMs where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, Ennis County, guess what we got going on right now? A little live high school football in Waxahachie. We got Coach Stanley. We got Andrew Woodward. He's a center. He's a defensive end. And guess what? He's a senior. We got Clinton Reese. He's not only a linebacker, but he's a running back, and he's a senior as well. Coach, welcome to the show. Talk about this group of men that you got.
Ready.
Okay. So talk about this group of men you got this year and what's making this team special to you.
Oh man, this is the most fun we've had coaching here in a long time with just this group of guys. I mean, they work hard. They like working hard with each other. You know, they're coachable group. They're fun group to hang around with. You know, a lot of good personalities, and I think that's what makes it special for a lot of our coaching staff. These guys have been with us for the whole time, so that makes it a lot of fun.
That's pretty awesome. Well, Clinton, so we came out and we got a few shots of y'all working out earlier in the year. Just talk about the buy-in and the commitment that everybody's shown this year.
People like a lot. They like working out a lot more. I can tell, like in the past, they like working out a lot more, and it makes it a lot more fun. There's more energy in the weight room, which then helps other people like lift more weight and get energy to actually come and work out.
Well, and what are y'all ended up on the wrong side of this one, but did you not see some things that were, it just seemed like y'all had a higher energy from the stuff that I've been able to see so far on the field. It just seemed like even though you're down, nobody quit. Everybody's motor was going 90-0 the entire game. Is that one of the things that's made that possible this year?
Yes, sir. We like to play as brothers instead of just as a team, which then helps us like play on the field a lot stronger.
Okay. And Woodard, just talk about, the offensive line had a lot of flashes from what I was able to see of some pretty good stuff. Y'all look like you were kind of 2-3 games in on that O-line. Just talk about the unity there and how it's opening the doors for other people to excel.
Well, yeah, I think it's just the O-line has become a unit now, a group. We in practices we come together and we know what we need to do, and we've definitely seen that in the game that it's not just playing for a game or anything. We're playing for each other, and so I think the season will be crazy to see how far we can come.
Well, and one of the stats that I loved seeing as a former O lineman is 9 pancakes on the game across the line. Just talk about, everybody's like, man, 34-yard run, 28-yard pass, all this stuff. That's all great. But as an O lineman, how excited do you get when somebody just pancaked the guy next to you?
Oh, man, it's crazy to see. When we get those trap plays, I get so excited to see my big old right guard get ready to put the hurt on some guy.
Well, Coach, you got some things to build on right now, but there were some things that looked pretty good during the game from a little bit of film that I was able to see so far. Do you want to talk about those things that you thought were working for y'all and how y'all can amplify those as the weeks move forward?
Yeah, I mean, initial reaction after you get, the outcome that we had is always, well, what do we need to, what do we need to do? And then when you go back and watch film on Saturday or Friday night, probably most of us, you definitely see a lot more positives than what you thought you would see. I thought we, offensively, we were able to move the ball and just in a lot, throughout the game, we were really running the ball really well. I mean, obviously, we need to work on protection in the passing game and some different things that will get cleaned up. And we've got to be able to throw the ball and take some shots downfield like anybody else. But running the ball was definitely our strength and just not getting behind the chains. I mean, a lot of things that kill any offense in the country kind of came back to bite us in the butt a little bit. And we'll get that cleaned up. And then defensively, man, it was when we went back and watched that, we're in position to make plays. It's just we got to make plays. It's and that comes with experience. It comes with kids that getting reps and learning the position and learning the defense and making sure that they know where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to do. And each week that's going to get clearer and clearer, and they're going to get more and more confident in what we're doing. And, like you just said, kids were flying around. I mean, it wasn't a lack of effort. Conley's a good football team. They've got a lot of good football players and a lot of experience making deep playoff runs here the last few years. So we were definitely excited to get to play them and definitely going to learn from the things that we screwed up and get better from it.
Well, and Clinton, I mean, you got two of your teammates. You got Brantley that goes 12 for 96 yards on the ground. You got Barry goes 16 for 81. Okay, we're talking 177 yards on the ground right there. That's got to give y'all some confidence going into these games, from an offensive standpoint, that if y'all can just complete a couple more passes, it's really going to expand that offense out.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts?
As far as running the ball, I love that because I love seeing my other fellow running backs carry the ball, break tackles and all of that. And as far as passing game, I love seeing my receivers catch the ball. We just got to be able to move the ball a lot faster and down the field more.
Well, and Woodard, one of the things that I saw on the tape, from this was just there was some really big, and I won't go back to the line for a minute, but in just a second, but I mean, the defensive line was putting pressure on that quarterback. And a couple of his big runs were basically scrambles where he had everybody down the field. He just, they got a little bit out of contain. But as on the defensive side of the ball, as a lineman, does that not make you feel good about what you all are able to do and actually being putting pressure on that quarterback?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're a pretty lucky group to have these kind of athletes this year. And I think rest of the season is going to be pretty good.
Okay. And, Coach, I mean, you have a couple of coaches in there. And, those first couple games when you're talking about, changing little things here and there, most people think, oh, that's pretty simple scheme-wise, but it's really not, especially when the scheme might be a little bit different than what you've done before. But just talk about, the transition, during the offseason over that, and then how you can expect, like that defensive secondary. I thought they did a pretty darn good job for a first game, and just how they might evolve over the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's new guys in the coach's office bringing new ideas, which is always going to expand what kids and what coaches know and getting comfortable, finding out what we do well, finding out what we do, not well, and what we need to change a little bit. But I think, that our guys, it really just comes down to getting, game experience, and the secondary is one of those groups that they, varsity experience is limited in that group. And so each game, I expect them to get better and better. We ended up in the second half, we had a freshman out there playing corner for us, and he did some good things. And, you know, our safeties are starting to kind of feel and figure it out. You know, we actually had a starter that wasn't able to play Friday night due to injury, so he wasn't able to be in the secondary, and he'll be back. And so there's just some things that those guys are going to get better. They're going to get coached up, obviously, by one of the better secondary coaches in football, and they're going to definitely learn what they did wrong and get it fixed. And I expect a big stride from as we go along throughout the year. And defensively, offensively, every position group is gonna learn what we need to do, and we'll get it rocking and rolling.
Well, and Clinton, you know, we look at football and we you know, everybody's like, okay, we won, we lost. There's a lot of good stuff that comes with that. There's a lot of things as far as personal growth that come through the sport as well. So we got a lot of little kids that come out there on Friday nights, and they're pumped for y'all and they're cheering for you. How much does it mean to you to be a mentor to those kids so that they inspire to be like you one day?
It inspires me a lot because seeing them want to be great makes me want to be a lot greater, so that it inspires them even more. Because if I slack, then somebody else is trying to get better while I'm over here asleep or something. So I want to stay up and get better so that they can see my potential and how hard I'm working, and then they can follow after me.
Well, Woodard, you know, just talk about, you know, at the school, y'all are leaders at the school, but y'all also do a lot of community stuff. I know it's kind of been hampered a little bit with COVID and everything, but over the years, you know, Coach has always done a great job of making sure y'all are involved in the community. Last year, y'all did a canned food drive, helped us out a little bit with Ellis County Can. Just talk about those things and how that makes you a better person on and off the field.
I think it just has to do with commitment and determination. I think us as football players were kind of regarded upon by the school. And so I think these little community things will help us. They pretty much just help us.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, Coach, you know, you got these two seniors here, and would you just tell us a little bit what makes each one of these guys so special to your program?
Oh, the things I could say about Reese and Woodard. I mean, these two guys, one, they were that is a plane, buddy. That is a plane. I see it. Yeah, I know. I see it. That's a cool plane, huh? Uh-huh. And yeah, but Reese is definitely and Woodard were both elected captains by their teammates, which is a big deal, you know. So both of these guys are respected in the locker room. But you know that they both come to work every day. They both do all the things that you expect of a leader. You know, Reese is kind of taking on the role of pipe man in the weight room. That's kind of his thing. You know, he kind of wants to be a bodybuilder whenever he grows up. So, you know, one of these times we might see him in those little bikinis out there trying to show off his muscles. He kind of looks like a Carlton Banks.
Oh my goodness!
Up a little bit, you know. So that's Reese for you. Woodard, you know, it's great to talk to him. Woodard's a multi-sport athlete, if you didn't know it. Woodard's a golfer as well. So my starting center is also a golfer, regional qualifier in golf. And so I like to go out and play golf. So I like to give Woodard a hard time about, you know, being better than him at golf. You know, I told him the other day I shot a 39 on the front nine at Mansfield National. I followed that up with a 50 on the back nine, but no one has to, you know, worry about that because I did shoot a 39 on the front. So Woodard will never be able to match. Woodard will never be able to match that, I don't think, especially with his college choice. You know, there's not any. Woodard's going to go to Texas Tech. So, you know, being from West Texas myself, having a lot of family in Panhandle and Lubbock, I know that there's not any golf courses that get water out there, so he's gonna have to learn how to change his game, how to hit off of cow pastures. For sure. So no, but both of these guys are, you know, just two great guys to have around, two great guys you can joke around with, two fun guys to have in the locker room, and two guys that honestly you want as the leaders of your program, because they just do a whole lot of really good.
Well, and Reese, real quick for you, okay? And Woodard, we're going to come to you with the same question, okay? What has Coach Stanley meant to you over your years there at Life? Reese, go ahead.
Coach Stanley has taught us how to play more like brothers instead of like enemies or just as a team. Because now, before, as when I was just another player on the team, he's talked to us, told us to come together as a team. And now I feel like we're all brothers now, and we can play with that like kind of connection on the field. And as he likes to say, I'd rather see you on Monday than read about you in the papers. Just let us know that he cares and that he loves every single one of his players.
That's awesome. What about you, bud?
Well, I think he's built a certain trust between coaches and players. You know, he calls it a four-way trust or a four-way test. Players believe in players, players believe in coaches, coaches believe in players, and coaches believe in coaches. And I think that's just a great way to test and see how the coaches are interacting with the players. He's also done stuff with just one-on-one and making sure we're all good. It just feels like a very big connection that you don't see much in most towns and football teams.
Well, that's phenomenal, man. Well, Coach, what's the next couple of games you got? And, give everybody the rundown there so we can make sure to get everybody out there to the game.
Yeah, I appreciate you two guys saying that, because, say a lot of same things over and over again. You kind of think sometimes they might just tune you out. So, I'll just keep on saying them though. But next couple of games, we got Athens next week. A really good Athens team. A lot of athletes. And we'll be going there. So we'll be heading there on Friday night. They do a lot of good things, and so we're excited about playing them. And then the following week, we've got North Dallas coming to Waxahachie. It's homecoming for Life Waxahachie, and so we're excited about that, and excited to see a good coached North Dallas squad come down that's made the playoffs last year for the first time since 1950. Coach Estes up there in North Dallas does a phenomenal job. Been doing it for a long time, and knows how to get the best out of his players. So, we expect two class programs to go up against, and we're gonna make sure that we bring our lunch pail on Monday and do our best to get 1% better each and every day, and make sure that we're fixing what we need to fix, and come excited and be ready to play. And we're just thankful for that opportunity to get to play those two teams and the rest of our schedule as well.
Well, Coach, gentlemen, thank y'all for coming on tonight. Guys, enjoy this senior season. We had so many seniors that didn't get an opportunity last year to really have a full season. We hope that y'all have that this year. We know y'all are going to do good things. Coach Stanley, thank you as always. We really respect the job that you're doing over there at school. And folks, get up and get out and go watch these guys down at Life School, down North 77 in Waxahachie. Some fun football at the 4A level. Make sure you make it on out there. Guys, y'all have a good one. We'll holler at you later.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
That it's cooked to order, so you're always going to get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of Doe-licious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas. Well, guess what, Ellis County? We're going to talk a little bit about a Ferris football team that, man, they were tearing it up the other night. 58-14 win against Maypearl. We got Coach Greek. We got Kenny Gadisa, Nathan Greek,
Hayden Hartman, Chase Moffitt, Matthew Quieros. Is that correct, Matthew? Did I say that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Kai Rigdon. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. And Coach, you know, we've had the opportunity to be out there with a little bit with you. And how much did all those summer workouts pay off in this first game?
I think anytime you're trying to build a championship level program, summer is always a key. It's definitely a key component. Showing up every day, putting in the work, learning to sweat, lift weights, run, build that trust with one another. So definitely our summer workouts played a big role in just the process of working on becoming better each and every day.
Cannon, let's talk about, you know, just how this team did. I mean, let's look at this, a couple of numbers here, okay? 44 carries for 417 yards. You know, I mean, just talk about that when you're coming, you know, mainly from, you know, the defensive side and stuff like that, how much pressure that takes off of you and allows you to do some main things.
Well, for sure, it was definitely fun to see. And it was fun to watch that many points get put on the board, and it relieved a lot of stress off of us.
Well, and, you know, Kai, you know, if you look down some things, some other numbers here, y'all were 63% on completions. I mean, you know, you're wearing that team out, and a lot of their players are going both ways. Just talk about how that benefits your team in the long run this season.
Man, it just gives us a good balance on both sides. We can run it and pass it, so it takes off a lot of stress on the defense.
Awesome. And, you know, Hayden, from an offensive line standpoint, you know, just talk about how happy that line had to be after all this stuff. I mean, I saw y'all over there talking to coach in a little bit of film, and, man, there wasn't a grin. Everybody, you know, at the third quarter, there's grins all over the face because y'all were just busting holes wide open.
Yes, sir. We were just absolutely just so joyed that we were able to pound the rock so hard last Friday. Man, on Saturday and Sunday and even today, we're still talking about it, just how fun it was.
Great win on Friday night. I wanted y'all to know that. Pretty dominating performance, and must feel good. I heard y'all talking a little bit. Must feel good to get out there and be able to control the ball the way you did. Going forward, you got three road games. How do you keep the focus and continue to prepare for those road games?
I think, you know, what we try to do is make sure that today was a great Monday. It's a coaching cliche, but if we start looking at tomorrow or 2 days down the road or 3 games down the road, I don't know that today is going to be the masterpiece that it needs to be. So really, we just came out today and we in the heat made a decision that we were going to get better today, and we wanted to put a great practice together today because that's about all we can control. So, you know, yes, we have a 3-game road trip. We play an early game on a Thursday night this week. We're looking forward to that because it's an opportunity to get better. And then the next few, whatever comes, you know, we're going to look at those road trips as an opportunity to grow and get better. So really, we kind of approach each day in and of itself. We need to try to be the best version we can be individually and collectively today, because if you don't do that, you wasted a day and an opportunity to get better.
Well, and Chase Moffitt there, man. Moffitt, 2 interceptions. You know, how did the coaching staff prepare y'all to be that dominant on the defensive side?
Yes, sir. We've just been working so hard, especially in the heat, going through every game day situation. And when the time struck, we were prepared for it, and we took advantage of it.
I was looking at the stats of the game and just the overall dominance. You know, one thing I had to tell you is just like y'all been saying, to stay focused, take it one game at a time, because it's a long season. Y'all do you do anything special to make sure that you're prepared day in and day out to attack the heat and make sure that your bodies are ready for each day?
I just drink water every day and just keep on going and just practicing hard
every day.
Well, and Nathan, just talk to you down the end down there, but I mean, from the video that I got to see, you were dropping some dimes. Okay, there was a couple of tiptoe catches down the side, but the big thing is having that running game. How excited are you about not only having great receivers, but having that running game to take care of things?
Well, I'm super excited. Like the other night, both Derek and Caden had huge games, and even though I didn't get to throw that much, I'm so hyped and so proud of them for having those touchdowns and those big yards. It takes pressure off of me having to throw the ball, and I'm just excited to have our next game.
Willis goes 20 carries for 237 yards, and Barnes, I believe, was 12 for 136. Coach, I mean, when you're doing those kinds of things, there's the big thing that makes those things happen is downfield blocking with your receivers. Right, Coach Greek?
Yes.
So, I mean, how excited are you about just the way that the team is completely bought in? Because, sometimes you'll see these big runs get shut down after about 30 yards because there's no downfield blocking. But, I mean, it seems like every player the entire game, the motor was at 90. How proud are you of this team for doing that?
I think that, when you install a new system, we're only about just over 4.5 months into these guys being exposed to the new brand of football that we want to unleash. And no matter what you do, football is down to two things: it's blocking and tackling. But when you have those, what we call explosive plays, running plays of 60 yards or more and pass plays of 20 yards or more, there's typically guys that have bought in to becoming great when they do not have the ball. And so when you have a running back go off for these types of yards, and not just one running back, but really Kai's sitting here too, he collectively had some big chunks on the ground. We feel like we've got 5 good running backs, and they all play receivers. They all pick up the blitz. And when they're asked to carry the ball, they don't mind doing that. And so we've got receivers that want to run routes and catch passes too, but if we got to run the ball to win the game, and that's what the defense has given us, then we need to execute that well. And so it was neat to see our receivers block down the field, make that extra effort, which kind of allowed our running backs to take, what would be good first down plays and turn them into explosives. So that's exciting because that's what you want to see. That's putting the team first. And when you have a bunch of guys who are willing to put the team first on special teams, defense, and offense, you can really do some special things and make some great memories. So we're definitely proud of these guys.
In our show last week about Nathan coming in and having a grasp of what the coach wants to help lead these guys along the way. And Nathan, have you been able to do that, to point these guys in the right direction and make sure they're where they need to be and everybody's working on the same page?
Well, when I came in last spring, I transferred from a different school, and everybody immediately they accepted me, and I made friends really fast, and I was able to become brothers with them, and so we trust each other, and I just try to do the best that I can to lead them and to lead the offense and encourage everybody.
Awesome. Well, Cannon, I'm looking at the film once again, man. I guarantee my videographer probably had 300 clips. One of the most impressive things I saw was, I think it was in the fourth quarter, Maypearl's trying to score. They get right down the goal line, and that defense just blew him up right there at the 1 foot line. Just talk about that kind of effort and how this brotherhood responds when y'all make those kind of plays.
It's amazing for sure. The love we all have and the feeling that you get to stop the other team from scoring not once but twice on the goal line. And we're all bought in, and we all love the same thing.
Well, and Chase, talking about, the bonds and stuff, you got 2 guys to your left, 3 guys to your right. They're out there on the field with you. Just talk about, just collectively as a group of leaders right here, what y'all are doing on the field the other night. Get everybody hyped, get everybody ready, right?
I mean, you were the first one, I do believe, out of the tunnel the other night, breaking the banner. You know, I mean, it's not just leading by those examples, but it's how much you be able to motivate those underclassmen to pick their game up as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's been a journey for sure. Starting in the summer, you know, we've just been speaking it into existence that we're going to come out swinging fists, play one. And I feel like that's exactly what we did. And not just on the defensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to apply pressure. We're going to be physical all night long. And we were ready when we got in that goal line situation both times. That's what I told the guys. Like, we're going to go out there and we're going to hit them in the mouth. And that's exactly what we did. Well, Karos, you know, going from either side of the ball as well, offensive line, defensive line, you know, when you are dominating a line down low like that, you know, what is it? What's the techniques? What's your, you know, line coach telling you? You know, what are the things that you're keying in on to make this so successful?
Just pop them first.
Say that a little bit louder.
Pop them first.
There we go. Got to hear that loud and proud, man. But Hartman, I mean, y'all are pulling a lot right now. What's that, Coach?
I was going to say, Matt is a man of few words. He does most of the talking with his face mask on the field. So he's really a joy to coach because he's another young man. All these guys have put the team first. You know, he was a 2-year starter on the D line. But in our new system, he's so athletic and agile. And he you know, so he's become the center. He's the centerpiece of that offensive line that really paved the way for a great night. And he doesn't, and we joke about it, but really he is a leader by example, and he's put the team first because he really loves the defensive side of the ball. But what's pretty cool to see is him move to center and take that mindset into the trenches with him. And like Chase said it best, we want to be in attack mode in every phase of the game. So these young men are bought in, and it's really neat. It's an honor to coach them. It's an honor to take the field with these guys, and it really brought a lot of joy to our community to see them play so hard and so inspiring. It really is in this day and age when games are getting canceled because of COVID. You never know when it's going to be your last play or your last moment. These guys approach every game, every practice, every rep, every play as if it's their last. And man, it's fun really to watch them play. So I can't wait to just see us grow each day.
Well, and you know, that's what I was going to bring up next, Coach, was Hartman, right? Y'all got him pulling on that offensive line. I mean, you come around that end, I mean, it's dead meat on a linebacker when you get a hold of him. I know that for sure because you ran at me a couple of times during the practice. Made me want to take a step back. But just talk about, you know, I know y'all are going for the kill right off the snap of the ball, right? So as a lineman, though, that's got to be a spectacular thing to know that you can just basically line up helmet to helmet and just, I win my battle, and then go to the next one.
Yes, sir. That's exactly. You just summed it up perfectly. It's just an awesome feeling to be able to know that I get to go out there and knock heads and be able to protect Nate and block for Derek and do all the things that I really want to do, and that's hit people. I love it.
Well, and Greek, I mean, you know, my coach, Gandy, used to always say, you know, you got to save a young man's life on that offensive line. Okay? In other words, don't let anybody get back and just run at the quarterback. But, you know, knowing that the system's only been implemented for about 3 months now, right? And you see the good things there. Now, I guarantee coaches are going to be sitting there saying, we got about 50 things on the film we need to work on, because that's always the way it is. But just think about, you know, in 3 months as leaders, and the team, what y'all have accomplished, and just talk about that and how amazing that is.
You know, everybody since spring really has been bought into what we're trying to do. And it was hard the first couple weeks, putting in the new offense, having to learn new things, and having to learn a totally new offense, totally new defense. But, you know, once we got the hang of it, it just started to click. And now we're in attack mode, like other guys were saying, and we're just ready to roll.
Well, and Kai, you know, I mean, you made some amazing plays. We talked a little bit about your running with Coach, but you're on defense as well. Just, you know, I want you to find your inner Michael Irvin, okay? I saw your Max Day. So I need you to find that inner Michael Irvin right now, and I want you to give a speech why everybody in Ellis County should take this team for real and be out there on Friday nights, making sure they're watching the Yellow Jackets?
Man, we just give it our all every day. We care about each other. We love each other. And this is Bricktown, baby.
I like that. I like that. So, Cannon, one of the big things, is Coach has had y'all reading Chop Wood, Carry Water this year, right? So how has that impacted y'all as a team?
The leadership and just reading that book every day, it taught us a great example of no matter what you do, you always got to lead by example, and you can't let your feelings get to you, and you always got to be the first man forward when there's a problem at hand.
Matthew, I want to go back to you because I want to get you to say more than 2 words. Okay, we got a player down in Italy does the same thing. He just says, I want to hit somebody. But, so you and him would probably be roommates at college. But what is the one thing for you personally that Coach Creek has brought to the team that's changing the environment? Because it's a different feeling when you come down to a practice. It's a different feeling just watching y'all in a game, things like that.
It's the love that he's given us and the leadership that he's given us too.
What are some things that not only yourself, but maybe these young men have been doing, maybe not just on the field, but off the field to continue to build that family atmosphere and to build on their leadership skills?
Yes, sir. I think, one thing we did in the spring when we came in is we asked our coaches just to share 2-minute power talks of things that were on their heart that had nothing to do with football. We tend to forget, that these young men are going home. They have family dynamics. They have situations that they're facing at home. They've got the world that we're growing up in. It seems like when you turn on the TV or get on social media that there's a lot of people that want to divide and tear down. And what we try to do is come in and say that there's a higher road, that if you want to lead, that you can inspire others to become great for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. And that when you chase greatness and you're passionate about the day and you want to become the best young man, the best student, here's what I know, 10 to 15 years from now, some of these guys are going to be husbands and eventually fathers. And so we've tried to create environments to make memories and create a bond. We've done things like we did our mom's football camp. We did a football 101 and told these young men to invite their mom. And we were going to teach them some football skills, but really also we wanted to get the moms in a room and tell them some of the lessons we were teaching these young men. We did an event a few weeks ago called Decals with Dad. And I know that not all my young men have their biological father involved in their life, maybe because he just works a lot, or maybe he's just not around, or maybe he just can't be for whatever reason. So we said, invite your uncle, your cousin, your grandfather, your pastor, bring them and let's put decals on. Let's talk about what it means to be a Yellow Jacket. What does it mean to come from Bricktown? We've done leadership book studies. We've started a fellowship of Christian athletes where these guys have a chance to come in, again, just grow, work on themselves and work on becoming a young man of faith, integrity, character, because when we learn to do the little things right, that's going to carry over into the classroom. That's going to carry over into the football field, into our relationships. And when we work on ourselves, that's probably the greatest challenge any of us will ever have in life as a man, is I got to look in the mirror and I got to face myself. And if I've got a weakness or a flaw or something that I need to work on, then there's a collision right there that's got to happen. And I can either walk away and say, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really matter that much. Everyone else is doing it. It's really not, and nobody's perfect, right? But I think when we stop working on ourselves and we stop chasing greatness, we have chosen mediocrity and becoming apathetic and average. And average just makes me want to, pardon the expression, but makes me want to vomit, makes me want to, I don't want to be an average husband or an average dad or an average coach. I want to be great. And being great some years, that doesn't mean you're going to win a state championship or a district championship every year. But you know what? We're going to put in the work and try to be the best we can be. And then whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But that's what we're trying to teach these young men. And so really, I don't look at it as one big thing we're doing. It's those little touches every day. And I'm really thankful that these guys acknowledge that some of what we're doing has brought an atmosphere of love and unity. Because, gosh, when we leave this building and we leave the football field, it seems like everything's trying to tear us apart. But I'd like to think for one special moment, one special season for about 100 days, these guys can be part of something, and we can capture it. If we could bottle up what's going on with these guys and the love that they have for one another, that's why they played with such passion the other night. Not because we're perfect, not because we have this invincible offense, defense, or special teams. We believe in what we do, but how we do it and who we are and the way we carry that out every day, that's what matters. And that's why I'm so honored to be these guys' coach.
Well, and Chase, to continue on with that a little bit, you know, I've been down there a couple of times, and the one, like, there's somebody that comes through, and I want you to speak to this. I don't want to say anything, but there's one special person that comes by and feeds y'all. They also feed the community a little bit. Just talk about that influence on you, just seeing not just the people in the stands, okay, but the people that are there for the community and are expressing that through the Yellow Jacket program.
Yes, sir. I mean, I love to say we're extremely thankful for that. We have a couple people actually that we've had the privilege to eat from that have fed for us. We've had Mr. Nye, we've had Nana. That's what we call her. And she comes up here and she cooks for the team. And we love to see her happy. She loves to see us happy. And we're just extremely thankful for that. And the guys let her know every time.
Yeah, I know you do. And Hartzman, I mean, when you're talking about these little kids, right, in the community, y'all are becoming more than football players, more than young adults, more than, you know, just a high school team. You're becoming the community. That community is the heartbeat is y'all in that town. And just talk about how you're teaching these little kids that watch y'all take the field, how to be Bricktown, how to do things the right way.
When I was little, I remember being in school, and before football games, they would have some of the football guys come by, and they would get to talk to the little kids. And I don't remember their names or anything. I don't remember their numbers, but I remember seeing them, and that just being the coolest thing to me. I remember they would come up to me, and they knew my name, and they would come and say something to me. It would be just like, keep up the good work, stuff like that. And I still remember that from when I was like 3 or 4 or 5. And that's exactly what I want us to be able to go and do. And I would just want to be that guy that the little kid remembers coming by his school or coming to his little peewee game and seeing them in the football jersey and look up to us, be able to know that there's something that they can do when they're older that'll help them, that they'll learn from.
Well, and Nathan, kind of the same thing to you being the quarterback. Everybody in town normally knows who the quarterback is, right? But is that not a bigger opportunity for you to make an impression in Ferris?
Yes, sir. Well, I've been told that, like, in the old offense, they used to run the ball a lot. So I'm excited this year with our new offense. We have a really good mix of passing and throwing. And I just want to be a leader and, you know, lead by example and show this community what not only I, but our offense and defense and our whole team can do.
I had the opportunity yesterday to bring the message to our church, and one of the things I got to talk about was legacy, and we talked about how the things that we do, how they affect other people, and how have y'all, as a group, have you noticed the community thriving off of what you do as a group?
You know, we talked to the young men about leaving a legacy. That's good. You know, these guys that are seniors, they're going to walk across the stage here in what's going to just seem like a few months, and they're going to get that diploma. They're going to hang up the shoulder pads, the sneakers, and what they're going to have to hold on to, the memories and the relationships that they've built. And but I don't want them thinking in terms of leaving a legacy. I want them every day to live a legacy. And that's the ripple effect. That's like when you go out to the lake, you take a big rock and you skip rocks, or you just take one of those big ones and you throw it out to the middle, and it causes a ripple effect. That's what these guys are doing. They're inspiring their classmates. They're inspiring just to see our band the other night, our cheerleaders, our community out there waiting at the gate for these guys to hug them and high five them and fist bump them. They waited for what seemed to be 45 minutes after the game had ended just to hug these guys and tell them how proud they are. That's what we want to do. We want to inspire those little kindergartners, and it can't just be about football. If it's just about football, then I've missed the mark, we've missed the mark. It's got to be about inspiring these kids to represent Ferris Bricktown in such a way that these kids become everything that they were created to be. We tell these guys that they were created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. And so we want to attack every day with that. That should inspire us every day between the lines to give all we got. That should inspire us every day to be the best student, the best young man we can be. And I'm, again, very proud of the way these guys are inspiring an entire community, and it's only just begun.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, having been down there and met with y'all and seen what y'all are doing, I can tell everybody here in Ellis County, this program is being built with integrity. These young men are dedicated. They're doing it the right way. They're laying it brick by brick, which I know is a cliche thing, but it's the honest to goodness truth. And as a county, guys, I know that's a big win, but you're winning bigger off the field, and that'll come clear to you as the years go on. And Coach Greek, thank you for leading these young men in our county the way that you are, you and your staff. And we'll see y'all on down the road, and we wish y'all nothing but the best, okay?
Thank you. We appreciate your time. And again, we're thankful to our leadership, Ms. Hartman, and our board, and everyone that takes part in supporting these young men. We don't do it by ourselves, and we never could. We're not going to pretend to. So this really, any success that we have is built with the inspiration of this entire community. So I'm proud of these young men and the team, and we're looking forward every day to get better. So thank you for your time today.
Elite Tower and Automotive. Ever have one of those days you just need a little hand? Well, with our remote services, we'll just hop right on it. Get you back on the road quick and easy. With automotive services to cover all your mechanical needs. Need that state inspection done? Well, we can do that too. So roll on in and see a friendly face. Give us a call, and we can be right on the spot to assist you. So trust the friendly folks down at Elite Tire and Automotive, 972-775-1055. Hey, Ellis County, guess what? We got a little volleyball going on down in Avalon right now. We got Coach Tony Hernandez. We got Savannah Bachok. And I did say that correct, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm 1 for 1 tonight. And the incomparable Eileen Furman. Eileen, we're going to start off with you, okay? You got this bubbly smile on you and everything else. Just talk about the sisterhood down in Avalon and how tight this team really is.
I feel like, so I don't have any actual sisters, but I can go to those girls for things. Savannah, she just came. Like, she's one of our newest ones, but I can count on them for anything.
Well, in Savannah, being new, how welcomed were you into the team, and how was that transition for you?
It was pretty easy. We just kind of fell in together, kind of just like a family.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, talk about these young ladies. I mean, they've been working hard. 1A is a little bit harder to schedule games. There's not a lot of tournaments available, but you've already got 3 non-district games in. But just talk about the team bonding right now and being able to be on buses and actually get to play together again.
Yeah, no, we from coming from last year and stuff to this year is totally different. So we were going to schedule some tournaments, but I didn't know. I'm also the high school principal, so I'm pretty busy. So trying to work around that schedule as well. But we took our first road trip last week. No, we took 2 last week. So just to Blooming Grove and then Dawson. But I mean, those are fun trips, and I want the girls to enjoy it. Especially now, these 2 girls being seniors, I want them to enjoy it because here in about 3 or 4 months, there's no more of that, for volleyball and stuff. So the girls, I got a good group of girls. I always have a really good group of girls. And I think what it is the younger ones see these older ones and they're like, hey, I can do that. And I want to be a part of that. And these 2 right here are great leaders for my team that I have. And so it's been fun so far.
Well, in Savannah, okay, so
you're in that back, you're in the front, you're that middle blocker, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
I got to ask you, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what's better, big block or a kill?
Ooh. I feel like a kill feels better to do, just to pound it right down, but a block is always the best move, I think.
Okay. And Eileen, you know, being a setter, right? You've got to get all these different timings right, because everybody jumps different. Everybody has their own step and everything else. I mean, it's one of the hardest positions in sports if you really look at it, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there that moment when you set the ball where you know this is going to be the perfect set and they're just going to lace it right down somebody's face?
As soon as it goes off my hands, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. Like, I'll even say it out loud. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a good hit.
Well, Coach, you know, we talk about volleyball a lot around down-home sports, and it's one of the few sports that's completely reactionary. You know, there's really not a starting point. I mean, you get to serve, but you're reactionary the whole way through this. Just talk about, you know, the communication that the girls have to have, being that it is such a reactive sport.
It is, and you know, one of the things I tell them all the time is control the things that we can control. You know, our serving something that we can control. Control that first. Control our attitudes, our frustration, our excitement. But also do your positions. And I always said assignments. Have your assignments and do them extremely well. And if you do that well, then everybody else, if everybody does it well, then we're going to be in good shape. And for us, is I'd rather be the scrappy team. You know, if we can outwork the other team, we're going to frustrate them, and then we're going to be in a good position. And that's really what I talk to them about always, just be scrappy. A lot of drills we play is just getting the ball up, slowing the game down in our mind, you know, a little bit, because it is a reactionary type of game. And if you can slow it down, you can see the ball a little bit better, in my opinion. So just trying to do drills and try to talk about how the game is really slow if you just do your job. So then we can just worry about everything else.
Well, and Eileen, I know you've been out a little bit, and hopefully you're going to get back soon and be completely healthy. But just talk about, you know, being that person out on that court in your community that these little girls look up to. And I know most high school players don't think about this, but, you know, these kids look up to you. How important is that to you to be that inspiration for another young lady out there to reach her goals in life?
I feel like even the game, like that next Monday or whatever, Wednesday, little girls, I'll see them in the hallway, like sixth graders, whatever, junior high, and they're like, you have a good game, Eileen, or, you know, like, I wish I could play like you, or even some high schoolers on my own team, they're like, I wish I had like an attitude like you. And honestly, I really do need to work on my attitude. Even Mr. Hernandez knows. I get super frustrated even now, but it really a lot. Like, I realize, like, okay, maybe I am doing something right. Whenever people come up to me and they're like, you're such a good team player, or something, just give me a compliment. It really means a lot.
Well, and Savannah, you know, when we're talking about just building that culture, right? Coach Hernandez has done a great job down there in Avalon building this. But just talk about the culture within the school, okay? From a principal's point of view and from a coach's point of view, he's interacting in a lot of different ways. How has he built that culture for Avalon to be what they are, which is a great opportunity in both educational and athletic?
I was going to say, he's built it up excellently. He's all about teamwork and doing everything. But first comes the education. You have to get good grades. You need to pass to be able to play and to do your part on the team. And that's always what comes first. You have to get your grades and you have to be your best self in school to be your best self out on the court.
That's pretty amazing right there. And Coach, I mean, you know, you've got great programs down in Avalon. I know most people realize Avalon's mainly noted for six-man football over the years, but you've had a great volleyball program as well, and I think that gets a little bit overlooked sometimes. Just talk about, you know, these ladies that have come through, you know, the building block teams that have set the pace for Avalon to where we are right now with this senior class.
Yeah, no, I do believe that, you know, the volleyball program is there, and it's come a long way. And not even just for me, but I think it's what it is that those kids from elementary, junior high, all the way up, they want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of the family and success. And we've had a lot of girls. We've had some deep runs in the playoffs, and we're on the brink of making it all the way. We say Garland now, but there's been 1 or 2 years that we're pretty close, in my opinion. Then some girls may move away and go to a different school. We've had that plenty of times, but what kept us in tune is the culture. And then all these other girls that were waiting in the wing, they stepped up and have been doing their job every single year. With these two girls, Savannah didn't, she came a little later, but she, in the last couple of years, she's improved dramatically. It's unreal to watch her play now, but she watched some really good middles come through. And, and I think she's seen it and seen the excitement on them and see what she's able to do. And last year she got in there, and this year, she has no choice. She's got to make it happen. And, Eileen's been my setter for, forever.
Yeah.
I'm on her pretty well, because I expect a lot from her. But I also know with these two girls and everybody else, I try to talk to them about, it's going to come to an end soon. And I just want them to enjoy it and leave something behind for these other girls that are, these juniors or sophomores, even these junior high kids, leave something for them. So.
Well, and Eileen, I'm going to start this question. It's the same question to both y'all, okay? But we're going to start with you. To you personally, what does it mean to play for Avalon and have that on your jersey?
I feel like we have a lot of high expectations because, every year we go to playoffs. Every year we try to make it as far as we can. And a lot of people know of Avalon Volleyball. We're really we're really good every year. And I feel like to have that jersey on is just the best feeling, especially playing for Mr. Hernandez, because if he wasn't the coach, I don't know if I'd be playing.
Wow. Well, Savannah, what about you?
Like Eileen said, the bar is set high. Every year we go to playoffs and we try to make it further each and every year. And it just means a lot. We have that legacy to fulfill, and you have to step into those shoes. You take it on, do whatever you can.
Well, Coach, you do not give. I know you didn't get some tournaments scheduled this year, but these games that you're taking on early are not easy. You're putting some competition in these ladies' way to kind of prepare. I take it that you're preparing them for that district run. But just talk about the things that you've seen over the first 3 games, improvement, and things that you want to see getting tightened up before you hit that district schedule.
Yeah, no, I always try to, play harder teams, and especially the local teams. They may be 3A schools, and, we're a small school, but, I believe that our girls can play with just, anyone. And it is when we hit district, I want the district to be easier than our preseason games. And we have, we have some teams in the district that are really good. We have Blum in the district, and they go to state almost every year. They're legit. So, but with these and with these district games and going in, what I need to see is, like you said, clean up a little bit of the mistakes, simple mistakes, things that we can control. And I believe that our team has done a tremendous job. Even though we haven't been winning some games, we're right there with it because of all the changes that had to take place. This year, we don't have a deep bench. It's whoever could play right now, let's go because of injuries. And, with Eileen being out, we had 1 or other 2 out. So, my libero is playing outside right now, hitter. So we have some freshmen coming up that never been in those games. So it's a lot for them. And they're playing front row, back row. So, my upperclassmen are having to try to take a hold of them and help them out tremendously until we get Eileen back. Hopefully soon. That will make a huge difference. The other setter, Anna Becky, she's setting right now. She's a sophomore. She's doing a tremendous job because she's doing it all the way around now. And we're running that 6-1. But what I like now is playing these preseason games is let's get all these mistakes out. Let's get the frustration out. And when it comes district time, that game's going to be slow for us, so it's going to help us out.
Well, Eileen, you're going to be coming back probably, hopefully, by the time district hits, right? So now you'll have all your weapons back, hopefully. Do you think that this team, is that going to gel this team together and just ramp everything up even that much more?
To me, I feel like you can win a game with whoever, because Mr. Hernandez actually always tells us every team has a winning chance. And honestly, I believe that. And Anna's doing a good job for only being a sophomore and taking on, but like going all the way around, like he said. But I mean, everybody keeps telling me that once I come back, we're going to win games, which is like a lot of pressure. But I feel like Mr. Hernandez has like taught me enough that I know how to do my job.
Well, but I mean, it's not about, I'm not saying about wins or losses, right? Every team can win if you play as a unison. I'm just talking about, maybe some of that cohesion comes back, little things like that. Do you think, once, and plus, I've always found in women's sports, when you have the whole team there and it's a really tight bond and people can see your face, see the emotion, and being a senior, right? And loving this last opportunity. Do you think that y'all two as seniors can inspire everybody to take that next step up once district hits?
Yes, because I played like with our outside Paris Bishop. I know her, like I can read her so easily. I know exactly how she likes her sets. I know exactly how she likes it in the back row because we've worked together for so long. Even the junior Paige Jacks, even her, I know her really well because we've been playing with each other for a while. And so I feel like that unison, whenever I do come back, hopefully soon, it will be the games will go more smoothly.
Awesome. And Savannah, one question we always ask everybody at the first of the season is, you've had a couple of bus trips, so we need to know, who's the person that's bringing the speaker on the bus, trying to get everybody to do TikToks, trying to get Coach out there going, ooh, da, da. Okay. Do y'all got somebody like that on the bus?
I think it's a good mix of them so far. Nobody in particular really stands out. Last year there was this one girl, but this year I think we all just kind of try to get everybody hyped up equally.
Okay. Well, Coach, do you know half the songs they're playing in the back?
No, I don't. Mine is just let me drive and do your thing, but just let me drive and don't get too crazy.
Amen. Well, Coach, tell us about the next couple of games that you got coming up, when people can come out and see y'all and check out the great things you got going down there in Avalon.
Yeah, no, we have a home game Tuesday versus Penelope. So we've been playing some 2, 3A schools. So it drops back down to the 1A this week. We play Penelope Tuesday. We go to Bynum on Friday, and I think we play Milford on the following Tuesday before we start district. And I think for me, is a good schedule to work on some things right before we start district, and then we open up with Rio Vista. And they're a big school, but they've dropped down to 2A, and they can play, but that's okay. For me, being around sports, I like the competition. So let's just play.
You're gonna be the best, right?
You have to.
Well, ladies, thank y'all so much for coming on. Coach, same thing to you. Hopefully we can get out to one of your games really quick and get to talk to y'all out there. Eileen, we wish you the best of luck in getting back and being healthy as all get out. And if you need some barbecue to get better, I might bring you some. Okay? But Coach, keep doing what you're doing and keep developing these teams and keep developing a great school down there in Avalon. And hopefully we can get more people to understand all the great things you got cooking down there.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
The battle to belong begins here, among the few, the proud, the Marines. battle to belong begins here, among the few, the proud, the Marines.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy-to-access ATMs, where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Guess what else, Kenny? We're talking to Midlothian Panther head coach, Mr. Coach Wendel. Coach, how are you been doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's always good.
Season started, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you had a great game the other night. Ball bounced a couple different ways on you, had a couple of turnovers here and there, but there's a lot of good things to take away from that game, I believe. I think one of the best things out there was, you go 45 carries for 181 yards. You seem to be running the ball really good. Benson had 21 carries for 111. You had a couple other people popping in there in and out, but that attack is still there. And it looked like your offensive line was really starting to get it together as the game went on. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I thought we played inspired football. We had a lot of young guys out there for the first time. And, whenever on Thursday at practice and then again on Friday pregame, I was talking to our assistant athletic director, and I just said, it's just hit me that every one of these kids are used to winning and they expect to win now. It wasn't that way when I first got here, but they won in 7th grade, they won in 8th grade, they won in 9th grade, they won in JV, and they've all had 7 or 8 or 9 win seasons, and they just expected to win, and it was a completely different vibe than it had been 2 or 3 years ago. And even though we were very young, we expected to go out there and play well and perform, and it wasn't too big for us. We made some mistakes. We made too many mistakes to win the game, but it was a learning experience. We had you talked about the offensive line. We had a sophomore at center that has never played never ran out there on a Friday night before. We had a junior at left guard that had never run out there before. We played 2 guys at left tackle, and I thought both of them played really, really well. And those are young guys that have a lot of talent and just need a little bit of experience. And same with some guys that got to carry the ball. And I thought our defense played as well as possible, and we made some mistakes there, but it wasn't perfect. But man, I thought the effort was tremendous. I thought the team unity was tremendous. Peeked over to my shoulder whenever we were down 2 scores, and there wasn't anybody down. There wasn't anybody in disbelief or thinking that we weren't going to win the game. And so there were a lot of positives that we could build on from that loss. We got to clean some things up in all 3 phases of the game. Too many penalties. We typically don't have 8 penalties for 80 yards. And that was a big part of the game. I don't know that we're going to win any game if we turn it over 3 times. And we've got several other, kicking game, got to shore some things up. But I think those things will come as long as our attitude and effort and team unity stay positive, and we keep working hard in practice. And we got a lot of guys that like to play football and like each other. So that's fun.
Coach Combs?
Coach, one thing that I know that I've noticed was, and you mentioned it, was about the kids winning at the sub-varsity level. And that probably, in your mind, played an important role with y'all being able to sort of pick up where you left off last year and getting after it on Friday night, don't you think?
Absolutely. Last year we were blessed with, we had a lot of kids coming back. We had 41 seniors. We were a senior-oriented team, and kind of been there and been to the playoffs and won a playoff game, and had gone through a lot of success. So in a way we were starting over, but at the same time, we were starting over with young guys that have never been out there, but at the same time had still had the same standard that those guys that graduated last year had. And they had won, and really even though we're young, we have probably as much or more talent than we've had since I've been here.
Well, Coach, I always tell people what gets overlooked a lot of times in a lot of good programs is those junior high coaches and their involvement. You know, can you talk about how getting them started at this point, you know, at 7th grade, you know, and running this system, it's not as easy as most people think it is. There's a lot of detail to it. Can you talk about how those junior high coaches are making a difference for your varsity teams?
Well, more than anything, we've just got great guys that love kids. And if they keep kids in the program and get them to us, then they've done their job. But they do a good job coaching it too. And one of the things that we probably don't get a lot of credit for, but I take a great deal of pride in, is our vertical alignment with our weightlifting program. We started in 6th grade pre-athletics with our strength and conditioning coach at the high school that's down there with them. And I think that was a great vision that the school district and athletic director had about 5 or 6 years ago, that he knew that it was going to take 5 or 6 years before we reaped the benefits of that. But now we're at that point where it's paying off. I think Coach Anderson's been with us 4 years now. So to see the strength gains and the lack of injuries, because we know what exercises to do and that type of stuff, preventative stuff is. So I think that's really important. And then our vertical alignment on offense, just our offensive line. It takes a while. It takes a long time to develop offensive linemen. And we put a lot of guys out there that don't ever get to play varsity until their senior year. But typically, whoever we run out there, it's pretty good. And it's because they've done the same thing for 6 years in a row. And it's the same with the quarterbacks and the fullbacks and the slots and all that type of stuff. And the tackle rotation, you know, tackling is a difficult thing, especially in space. But we feel like we're pretty well vertically aligned. And obviously, you always look in the offseason things that you can do that better. But I take a great deal of pride in that. And I think it has paid a benefit for us.
Ronnie?
Well, I mean, going back to, I'm just going back to having the kids in the program. And one of the questions that I thought you just kind of asked is the importance of those coaches at the sub-varsity and what they do. And another thing, it kind of sounds like I had this situation in Milford, and I thought that we had some good young talent, put them out there, and obviously them being able to play has helped them. But being on the road with a young team was probably a tough way to start. One thing that I think that I found out was those kids got to, even though they've had success, they've got to learn how to win on that varsity level. And so, how do you think you can help them to translate that in winning those ball games?
Well, that's a good question. And I think you got to go through, we're reading a book in our leadership council called Win in the Dark. And one quote that was in the last chapter that we read last Thursday was, failure is your investment to your dreams. And I think that kind of quote kind of summed up Friday night for us. I think one thing that's going to help is playing at home, though. And the Panthers have always played hard and played well at MISD Stadium. So I think being in friendly confines will be fun. I think with a huge crowd, we had a great crowd the other night, very impressed with everybody that came over to Brewer, but even a bigger student body will get our kids excited about playing football. But bottom line is we just got to get up and go to work each day. I thought Saturday's video, I thought the mood and the attitude of the team was very, very positive. When you have those young kids and you've got to go through those trials, if the more video that you can watch and they can watch themselves and learn in that capacity, I think that's an important ingredient in their growth. And we spent some extra time doing that, as we do every day and every week. And I think that's going to pay off, and we're going to have guys make plays. And we just more than we don't need to be anything other than who we are. And we don't have to ask kids to do something they're not capable of. We just have to eliminate mistakes. I think we're a few plays away from winning that game the other night, maybe just one or two. And I feel like we're on the right path to be a pretty good football team.
Well, and I mean, you got young men out there. I get to cover you a little bit more in depth doing the radio and stuff, but one of the big things I took away was like people like Carson Bates. Carson had an interception, ran for 20 yards on 3 carries. You've got multiple guys out there. Diego Benson, he not only ran for 111 yards, but he was out there playing a little bit of LB for you. You got these multi-burst athletes, and I could keep going on from my knowledge, Tay Jackson, et cetera. But, just talk about, some of these big plays. It's always been a Panther forte to keep that motor running, getting those wide receivers blocking downfield. And the buy-in on that just shows program buy-in, in my personal opinion. Can you talk about just the little things that most people wouldn't notice, that some of these players that they may not know the name, like Diego, Diego's going to be a big name in the program, but some of the little things that these guys do to make y'all successful?
Well, I just, every play counts in what we're doing offensive. We've got some skilled guys on the outside. I keep telling people that, and we're going to continue to work to get them the ball. We had a sophomore that I think is just going to be a big-time player. Bryant Wesco had 3 catches the other night. We threw it to him another time or two. But he played, I believe, I think he played every down at corner as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And played about 25 downs on offense. And it's kind of a shift in philosophy. We just feel like we've got these athletes. We need to have them on the field. I feel like they're difference makers. You mentioned Carson Bates, Tay Jackson, but one that you probably didn't mention is Corbin Griffin. He is a 6'3", big offensive lineman, but also an impactful defensive tackle. I think you're going to eventually see Cade Tompkins playing some tight end. We've just got some talented guys that we want on the field when the game's on the line. So.
Coach,
that's been a little bit of a shift in philosophy, and consequently, it's changed kind of the way that we practice too.
Compton?
Well, I mean, that's to me, that's impressive to have, especially at that level, the number of kids playing, on both sides of the ball, and getting snaps here and there. I'm sure that that helps to use their ability, with these, what are some things that maybe off the field that you're doing to help, bring those kids together and teach them a little bit about where they need to be and what they have to do?
Well, off the field, we do a lot of video stuff and teaching them about football, but more than that, doing things off the field together, creating a team bond, and we had a varsity retreat a couple of weeks ago, and that was a fun time where we ate together and we didn't talk about any football stuff. We just, the coaches got to know the kids got to know the kids. And that was a good time. We did some stuff last week. We're looking at doing some other things for fun. We have a leadership council. So we've got systems in place to get information dispersed, and also to a system in place where the kids have a voice. I think when the kids have a voice in something, they see reason and meaning, and then in what you're doing, I think that matters. And I don't know that we're doing anything that everybody else isn't doing. We're just trying to do it as well as the Panthers can.
Well, and, Coach, you also did a garden here lately right up before the season. Are y'all planning on doing that kind of stuff a little bit more as well?
Yes, one of the best things we did last year, and it's been a while now, but we did a shop with a cop at Christmas time, and that was a phenomenal experience for our kids. And whenever we go read to them elementary schools, or we'd go plant the garden, or we do the shop with the cop, and we do these community involvements, we're out there helping somebody a little bit, but I always feel like our kids get more out of it than what they put into it, and if you get out there and you serve and help and learn, you're growing as a person, and you gain an appreciation. And I think it's really important, at least it's important to me, to put our kids in that situation and add some value to things off the field.
Well, I don't want to skip over this, though. I had this note here. You had 4 sacks on the night by 4 different people. You had Ruffin, Smith, Lofgren, and Knighton. And the 2 that really stood out to me, not to say that, they didn't have a good play amongst the 4 of them, but Smith and Lofgren just looked like, for being a little bit younger, I believe Lofgren's a junior and Smith's a sophomore, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But, those motors are running. Yeah. And I think they want to be called Mini Tompkins at some point, because the other one ain't going to be called that. But, just talk about these younger players. And, they're taking advantage of their snaps, it seems like.
Yeah, we've got about 5 or 6 defensive linemen that are all underclassmen, and really excited about that crew and the unit that they have and the motor that they play with, and kind of the standard that Coach Irwin sets with them. They call themselves grave diggers, and it's just a really, really fun group. High energy, high motors, and like football. And I like to see those kids get excited when they make plays. They certainly did get excited. And the other thing about that is we play with a 4-down line front a lot of the time. And whenever we do that, and you've got 6 or 7 defensive linemen competing for playing time, that competition makes you better. And none of them want to be beaten out on who gets the most sacks, the most tackles, or most impactful plays, or tackles for losses. We chart all that stuff, praise and recognize, and they all feed into that. So that's a neat group. So we're young there. We're young in the second. I think we started 3 underclassmen in the secondary. Started 3 linebackers that were seniors, and they all 3 had good games. Marcus McLemore, Drew Coleman, and Tyler Knight, and all 3 were where they were supposed to be most of the time and played really, really well. Thought the effort and hustle on defense was exceptional. On the offensive side, I mentioned the 3 underclassmen linemen. You had Slater Callahan out there at slot, Jordan Richburg at slot, Diego at fullback, LJ was at fullback, Chad Regal was at quarterback, first varsity game he's ever suited up for, and all those guys are underclassmen. Then I mentioned Brian Wesco as a 2-way starter as a sophomore, and so we're very young, and but at the same time talented. And the thing that I'm excited about is whenever you are that young, you typically see lot more growth throughout the course of the season instead of being incremental like it was last year. Thought we started off strong last year against Brewer, and by the end of the season we got a little bit better, maybe even some better. But I would think that by the start of this season to the end, we're going to be a different team in October, and then again at the end of the season.
Ronnie?
Oh, well, yeah, I agree that the more experience that the young men get being out there, and the more competitive that they can be. What are some things that you think? I know it's week 1, but what are some things you think you can clean up on both sides of the ball to help make sure you continue to have that success and push forward?
Well, obviously 3 turnovers, we've got to protect the ball better. And that was a point of emphasis. Another point of emphasis was discipline. We pride ourselves on running a discipline program and playing with discipline on the field, and 8 penalties for 80 yards really hurt us. When you're in a tight ball game, field position matters. And we certainly lost the field position game the other night. And then I think special teams, we typically at least get a tie, if not most of the time win in the special teams part of the game, and we didn't the other night. We had a punt over our head, we had a blocked PAT, and a couple other things on special teams that weren't great. So we obviously got a lot to clean up, but if we can, I'm going to be happy if our special teams is fair this week and doesn't beat us, if our turnovers are reduced, and if our penalties are reduced in half, then I'll be happy.
Well, and Coach, just for a fun question, okay, what do you think is harder? Teaching a 7th grader to put on pads, or getting a scout team to run the plays right?
Depends on the day. that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. We're going to go 50-50.
I'll tell you this, scout team on Monday is always tough. By Wednesday, we usually do pretty good. So I'm going to play the 7th grade pads.
There you go. All right. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us tonight. And, I'll be there Friday night, just getting it going. But, I'm going to tell people, Drew Coleman had a very quiet, good game. Tompkins and Starlin really had some impact on that inside line. And you're right, the wide receivers, I said this before, this is the fastest team that we put on the field in forever. And I'm talking about mainly the wideouts. You've had some good people that can catch, but as a solid group, you're there. But we can't wish you nothing but the best. And we'll see you down the road, and hopefully we can get them wins start popping up on the board pretty quick.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. and all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
That it's cooked to order, so you're always gonna get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious. It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas. Hey, Ellis County, guess what, folks? We got Ferris Volleyball on the run with 12-4. We got Coach Menifee. We got Zyra Harrison. We got Callie Ralston. We got Amanda Aguanagua and Elizabeth Guzman. Ladies, glad y'all could join us here tonight. And Coach, we're going to start off with you. Y'all have had a great start to the season against some really tough teams. How has the team bonded? I mean, when you look at the list of these teams that y'all been playing, like Lancaster, Corsicana, South Garland, and you had a great match against was it Plano West, I think? You know, just talk about how these games are bonding these young ladies.
I think it's the struggle. So we have these 4 seniors. I have 3 juniors and 4 freshmen. So our freshmen play a big role in our rotations constantly. And so our seniors being able to lead them in the direction they need to go in, and the freshmen being able to follow along so quickly and jump right in head first, ready to go. I think that's what has brought us so much success, was them just blending so well. I could have never imagined that they blended this well, but I've been with these 4 for 3 years. So they kind of know me like I know them. So they're teaching their freshmen and leading their freshmen in the way they know I want them to on the court.
That's phenomenal. And Zyra, I mean, talk about being that, you know, you're a setter and you're a captain. So, you know, the setter takes the pace for everything. You know, there's that moment when you make that perfect set and your eyes get bigger and all get out because you know it's going to be a great kill. But just talk about being that leader on and off the court for Coach.
It's really like, I tell the girls what, like, if I see them in the hallway and like, I'd be like, and on the court, I have to pick everybody up, let them know that it's okay to make mistakes, let them know where to be on the court, and yeah.
Okay, and Callie, you know, Coach talks about, you know, y'all being this great class of seniors and being with you for 3 years. How much has her presence meant to y'all as a group?
I feel like Coach Menifee is more than just a coach. She's mentored us through our school. Like, if we need help, we know we can go to her. She's one of the coaches that have our backs. So I feel like getting to know her since my sophomore year, that all of our bonds have grown closer. She's guided us to be respectful women to.
And Amanda, you know, being in small town Texas, right? That's a beautiful thing to play high school sports there. And, you know, with what Callie had said about being respectful women, you know, one of the things is being that role model for all those younger women out there. As a senior, do you now take that as a bigger part of you playing for Ferris?
Yes, because the girls have trouble, especially the young girls, they have trouble, especially being on varsity as a freshman, and they get really nervous, and we all of us seniors try to calm them down and make sure they have confidence in themselves.
Well, that's awesome. And Elizabeth, what about the little bitty girls that are coming out and watching you on the game? Because the whole town comes out for all the sporting events and really gets behind y'all. What about those little kids? How good is it to be somebody that they can look up to and hopefully strive to be one day?
You know, like during games, you see all the little kids just in the stands cheering us on. And like, it means a lot to us as a team. Like, it shows how grateful we are for having them there. And then we see them off on the sidelines, passing each other, playing around. It just shows that we're like a role model to them and that they look up to us. And so that means that we should show up and show out for them. Like,
it's just it's an awesome bonding at that point. Like we're helping them become a better person and eventually be on the court playing at some point.
That's phenomenal. Well, Coach, we'll come back to you right now. You know, you hear all these things from these young ladies, and these are the things that you want to hear, you know, the positive things. Just talk about from the backside that people don't get to see all the time. What is so special about this team? Because there's something special about this group.
I don't even know how to put it. These girls are headstrong. I'm not the easiest coach to play for, and I'm not sweet and sugar-coated all the time, but they take it and they go and run with it. They will run through a wall for their team. That's what I can say is different about this team. We've been through 2 years of not winning the games we know we should have won, and going through the COVID pandemic and playing different positions just because we needed the girls to play. We've been through so much, and I think this year they're embracing that they know what they're doing. So they're more confident, they're more go-getting. They want the wins that we were denied 2 years ago, 1 year ago. They want all those things for themselves. And so that, plus our freshman group, they'll run through a wall. And so they just mix so well. The freshman group hasn't experienced as much as this class has, but they know what this season means to this class, and they know they have to step up and help them make it happen. So I think the heart and the dedication that these girls have for this season, and we call it our swag season. So they know what they have to get done. They know what they want to get accomplished, and these 4 seniors make it happen every day in practice.
That's pretty darn good right there. Well, Callie, just talk about the sisterhood that y'all have together. I mean, especially after going through these last 2 years have been 2 to 3 years. Every year has been so different and so many obstacles put in your way, you know, just seeing the emotion from the bench and things like that. How does that build the sisterhood there at Ferris?
I feel like being with these 3 girls since we've been playing together since junior high, and every year we play together, our bond gets tighter and stronger, and I wouldn't want to play with anybody else. And I know with them 3 that even though we have a lot of freshmen, and that normally, you know, that it's kind of scary when you're on a varsity team, but we've all like gelled so well. We always goof off, we have fun. It's just always a great time, and I'm so thankful that we get to play this year and have a regular season, because last year was a little scary and we didn't know what was going to come next. We didn't know if we were going to finish our season. So this year, I'm just so thankful that we're all able to play together.
Well, Amanda, up to you, okay? You're the libero. So basically, you know, when it comes down to defense, you're hustling all over the place. How do you inspire your team? Because I know from your family, the ones that I do know, it's always been by action, not a lot of words, but you're the kind of person, when you do talk, people listen, okay? So just talk about, you know, showing people physically, hey, this is what's got to be done, but keeping that humble spirit.
I really try to inspire my left backs. Really, they do have a lot of trouble back there, and they always come and ask me questions during a game or during the practice, and I help them and try to figure out what they need help with, and I make sure they have confidence in themselves, because sometimes they get really shaky and they get nervous. So I try to make them have confidence, because they're on a varsity team and you can't be down all the time as a freshman or whatever grade you're in.
Well, and Zara, one thing of being a setter, right, is you've got this big, massive wall up front. Your your front row has been playing phenomenal this year. You know, how much does that help y'all's game in getting those first touches and, you know, just getting that blocker a week past to where they can get that touch and get it to you perfect to where you can set that ball right for them?
Probably when we get that pass, it's probably like the best thing ever, because then we can run the good stuff, like not a regular set. it can be something different. It can throw the defense off on the other side. And so when we get that perfect pass, it's like amazing, and we can run whatever we want.
Well, and Elizabeth, you know, when you're up there on the right side, right? How great is it to get that block and know that you're putting more pressure on that opposing team? I mean, this last game, I saw 4 blocks where y'all just basically stuffed it back over the net, and all they could do was tap it in the net. Just talk about that if you could.
You know, I really don't. This is my first year like actually hitting right side. I'm usually mostly on defense. So, you know, every time I get a block, I try not to show it, but, you know, I get super hyped. I like try to show it into the face a little bit to the opposing team. And it just feels good, like being able to block a girl, and then like their team is all struggling, trying to get the ball back up. It's just a good feeling overall. And it not only hypes me up, but the whole team and the whole supporters and the whole fan base.
Awesome. And Coach, you know, like I said before, you're very strong at the net this year. And how about that set y'all up for a big run through district this year?
So I would say it would just help us compete. We go against some tough guns in district, and being able to throw a shot back is going to make a complete difference for us. We're not free balling. We're not pity-patting up the net anymore. We're giving you some heat to deal with. So you got heat for us, we got heat for you. And we're really strong at the net, but I do have to put emphasis on my senior libero. She is doing what has to be done in the back row. So she's getting the balls up. You have heat, she is there waiting for your heat, and we're going to deliver heat right back. So I think we have a perfect mixture as far as position wise of where my seniors are, because just having one in each position. I don't have a senior middle, but I do have an aggressive junior middle. But every other place I have a senior dominating, stepping up, doing what they have to do, and making the big plays. And it's just going to give us room to compete. That's all we want to do. We want the chance to compete and play how we know how to play.
Well, and Amanda, being that libero back there, right? Does it not make it a little bit easier to play libero when you've got that wall that can basically try to make them funnel it directly to you?
Yes, it is very easy when they can get a block, but I'm still going to be right there even if they don't get a block. So I'll be ready anytime the other team hits.
Okay, so Elizabeth, this is one of my fun questions right now. Okay, we're going to start off with you being on the right side. What's better, a block or a kill right at somebody?
I would go with the kill right at somebody.
Okay, what about you, Callie?
I'd have to say a block. I think
Okay.
I love the look on people's faces when I blocked a really hard hit.
All right. And Zara, is it going to be that perfect set? Okay. Or is it going to be the dump over on the fake set?
The dump.
Definitely the dump, because like it just throws everybody off. And like people have told me, they're like, when you do that little thing, we go over the net. They're like, that's so cool.
And Amanda, for you, the big dig, okay, or that come up from behind and hit that long one in?
Oh, dig, for sure.
Dig, okay. Well, Coach, you know, what might be one of the things, just, you know, is it communication right now? I mean, like we said, y'all had some great runs so far in victories. And, you know, the first 2 losses came when y'all were playing some pretty darn big teams, you know, but you got one over Lancaster, you got one over Corsicana. I mean, those are some pretty big programs right there. But just talk about, is there that one thing, is it communication, something like that just needs to get fine-tuned a little bit?
I think for us, it's still our confidence. These girls are more than capable to play and compete and keep up with anybody they put their minds to. It's just getting them to believe that they can completely 100%. That's the only thing that stops them from anything we have to do, confidence. My freshmen, I haven't had them long, so I know they're gonna be the ones who struggle with their confidence a little bit, and I still have to teach them, but I've had these girls 3 years. That's why we call it our swag season. They've learned what they need to learn. Now they got to put their little swag on it, their confidence on it, and execute. So I would think communication's there, the play is there, the talking is there, they bond, just confidence. We just have to have confidence going into district, knowing we can put some balls down and compete with people.
All right, and Elizabeth, okay. So the great thing is y'all got a bunch of bus trips in so far. You know, and bus trips in sports in Texas are the biggest blast in the world. All right, so I want you to spill the beans. Who's that one girl that's got the speaker in the back, that's got the jams going, that's getting the TikToks happening? Who might that be on the team? And have they gotten coached to do a TikTok yet?
We haven't gotten Coach Maypearl to do a TikTok yet, but before the season ends, we for sure will. Like, it's
Okay.
done. Whatever.
As soon as y'all get that, y'all send it to us and we'll broadcast it.
We will. But honestly, we're all goofy in our own ways. Me personally, I am the one that's jamming out to anything. I'm trying to like hype up the team. Our freshmen are very hype as well. Amanda over here loves to make TikTok. She was making TikTok a lot. Like, we have our own goofy side, and it just brings us together more, and we just bond better like that.
And that's a blast, you know. What's one of y'all's favorite, Amanda, what's one of y'all's favorite things to do? I mean, you know, is there a certain chant that y'all have that you could share with everybody in Ellis County?
Yes, it's called right before game to get us hyped up or energized. We like to do a thing called Do It. It's where it's like a chant.
Well, let's hear it.
It goes, do it, do it, do it, go, go, go. And then we say, and stop and let the freshmen do it. And we're all in a circle and the freshmen jump in and we say, do it, and the freshmen can do whatever dance they want. And then we go around to sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And at the end, we all do it as a team together. And that
Very nice.
really gets us hyped up before a game.
Now, do y'all give the coaching staff a section?
No.
No? Okay.
I jump in sometimes, but only sometimes.
There we go. Well, and, you know, Callie, the other part about, you know, doing all this stuff is just, you know, being at school and having that fun there too. So I know from what I've seen about y'all and you know, learned about y'all thus far this season is y'all are having fun, whether you're on the court, off the court, you're still putting in the hard work, but you're earning that little bit of fun right now. How much fun is it to go around school and have that swag going on with a little bit of volleyball?
I love it. I love people coming up to me and asking me how we're doing, how much we're loving it, how great of a job we did. I feel like we've never really had that before. So this year, being a senior, having principals come up to me, people that I've never really talked to come up to me telling me that we're doing great. It's an amazing feeling.
Awesome. And Zara, I mean, 12-4 speaks to itself, okay? Just that right there. But as a senior, what is this class, what mark will this class leave on Ferris Volleyball?
Definitely a big mark because we've been waiting for this for a long time. Me and Callie, we've been playing together since freshman year, and then Amanda and Liz kind of came sophomore year. But the past few years, like last year, it got ruined because of COVID, and the year before that, we were just getting to know each other. But this year, we really have it, and we have everything we need. So hopefully, it can take us to get to playoffs and a few rounds in.
Gonna bring something, a little bit of trophy home.
Yeah.
There we go. That way that hardware case got a little bit more than what's there right now. That's what we like to hear. A little confidence out here. Well, Coach, ladies, thank y'all so much for dropping by tonight. So happy y'all could, and we wish you the best luck for the rest of your season, and we'll be seeing you out on the court sooner than later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always gonna get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Dough City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas.